The USF-IRB has created general guidance videos to provide our USF and affiliated research community with guidance on a variety of IRB and BullsIRB topics. One such topic is supporting our research community in comprehending serving as the IRB of Record or single IRB. This video is an informative overview of serving as the IRB of Record and instructions on how to submit a BullsIRB application for single IRB. Before we start, there are a few points to consider. First, let's define the IRB's role. The USF-IRB will review the research in accordance with established policies and procedures to determine that research is ethically justifiable according to all applicable laws, including initial review, continuing review, review of modifications to previously approved research, and unanticipated problems involving risk to human subjects or others. The USF-IRB also has the ability to suspend or terminate IRB approval. The USF-IRB does not execute a formal IRB reliance agreement for research determined to be exempt, except when the exempt research requires a limited IRB review. You may contact the Reliance Department for additional information. rsch-reliance@usf.edu. Now let's talk about things to consider when trying to determine if USF-IRB will provide review for another institution. We ask that you determine whether the use of a single IRB has been mandated by the study sponsor or supporting agency. Also consider the number of proposed studies involved in the collaboration and the anticipated level of risk associated with the proposed study. Think about the location in which the majority of study procedures will take place. And take into consideration the principal investigator's standing with USF and their role in the overall research. If you have an NIH study, you should also think about NIH single IRB policy. The NIH expects that all sites participating in multi-site studies, which involve non-exempt human subjects research funded by the NIH, will use a single IRB to conduct the ethical review required for the protection of human subjects. This policy applies to the domestic sites of NIH-funded multi-site studies where each site will conduct the same protocol involving non-exempt human subjects research. Also, you should consider the HHS cooperative research provisions. This provision requires that all institutions located in the United States that are engaged in cooperative research conducted or supported by a common rule department or agency rely upon approval by a single IRB for the portion of research that is conducted in the United States. Now that we have determined and considered the factors needed for serving as the IRB of Record, let's talk about the timeline and process. Once you have selected your grant and before you submit your proposal, you need to have a discussion with the IRB Reliance Department. Send them an email to start this conversation. This conversation will include budget, study personnel responsibilities, and USF-IRB responsibilities. You will be required to include within your proposal a budget for IRB fees to serve as the IRB for another site and a letter where USF is agreeing to serve as the single IRB. When you submit the required information to draft your budget, please give the IRB office at least 72 hours to send your budget documents. Once you receive a positive score on your grant, contact the IRB Reliance Program with a final list of sites and their PIs. The IRB Reliance Program will set up a meeting to discuss the next steps, go over the workflow, and discuss the responsibilities of the USF PI. A meeting will be set up with all P-site PIs and their IRB contacts to make sure everyone understands how we will move forward. When you receive your award notification, you will submit an initial BullsIRB application and then the sites themselves BullsIRB. Let's go over each step. If you will submit an initial BullsIRB application, please do so ASAP. Review the initial BullsIRB submission video for a step-by-step process on how to submit an initial BullsIRB application. You will find this video on our website. Click the Regulation and Guidance tab, and then click the Guidance Document folder and scroll down to the Guidance Video section, and bam boom, initial BullsIRB submission video. Now, there are a few differences in submitting a single IRB BullsIRB application. When you are drafting your protocol, both biomedical and social behavioral, please make sure to include all aspects of the research project, not just what USF will be responsible for. Also be sure in the settings question of the protocol that you add information on each site, what they will be relying on the USF IRB, and their role in the research to prevent any other modification. And, if applicable, ensure that the study protocol and informed consent document includes local institutional template study injury language and HIPAA authorization language. Now, when you submit your initial application in BullsIRB, in the Basic Study Information section, be sure to select that no other IRB will be the IRB of record. So, for question 5, you will select No. Also indicate that USF will be acting as the IRB for other sites. So for question 6, you will select Yes. In the Basic Study Information section, question 9, Attach Protocol, be sure to only upload the protocol. Now in the Study-Related Documents section, this is where all the documents that will be used across multiple sites will be uploaded. This includes all the template documents that other sites would modify to include any of their local required language or standard documents that will not change from site to site. For example, if you have a recruitment flyer that will be utilized across all sites, but would need to contain each P-site PI information. Also, if multiple sites will be using the same data collection form or interview questions. All of these documents would need to be attached under the Study-Related Documents section of the application. In the Local Site Documents section, this would include all the documents that have been modified to be USF specific, all the recruitment, consent, and any other documents that are only being used by the local USF site. After the IRB has reviewed and approved the overall project, it will now be time to approve each of the P sites that will be relying on the USF IRB. Under the tabs on the main study page, there will be a tab called Sites. Now, under this tab is where you will find all the sites that were approved within the main protocol. You will see the site's PI listed and whoever has been identified by the PI as the USF individual who will submit all documentation for the P site. Now, don't forget, for P sites, when drafting the site supplement protocol, be sure that the protocol only details that site study activities. Do not include anything that USF or another site will be doing. Only indicate that site's study activities. For P sites, all documents pertaining to the site will be uploaded in the site's local site documents section. This includes the site supplement protocol, revised recruitment material, and the P site's informed consent addendum that includes any required local institutional language. In addition, the signed HRP 817 and HRP 830, along with the signed reliance agreement, will all need to be attached before the IRB will review and approve the site. For study protocol and consent changes, it's helpful to upload both a clean copy of the document with the changes included, but to also upload a track document that shows the changes you made to the already approved study document. We are almost done, but let's talk about post-approval. Let's talk IRB payment schedule. For initial single IRB costs is paid when each site is added. For ongoing single IRB review costs, this is paid annually on the anniversary of approval. Now, after the project and sites are approved, the USF-PI is responsible to include BullsIRB submissions of modifications and R&Is for any of the participating sites. For additional support or any questions about serving as the IRB of Record, contact the Reliance Program at rsch-reliance@usf.edu. You can also send an email to the general USF IRB inbox at rsch-irb@usf.edu. Thanks for watching.